One of the first things I do when I wake up in the morning is go to my watch box, look down at all these beautiful watches that I've collected over the past years and say to myself, which watch am I going to wear today? I look through them and I'm generally drawn to a few. Maybe there's particular reasons that day I'm going, oh yes, I'm going to wear that watch today. And I often do this before even considering what am I going to wear that day or what am I going to do that day. So then I tend to sometimes, not always, but sometimes find that there is a bit of a conflict with the watch that I've picked versus what I'm actually going to wear. So I end up doing something rather funny. On occasion, and it's not every time, but I end up sometimes doing a watch fashion montage. I end up looking at the watch, looking at the shirt that I'm wearing and thinking, does this suit? Just like this. Does this watch suit this shirt, this outfit? Do they go together? Am I worried about them going together? Or should I switch shirts and then maybe wear this one today? Is it now matching? Is this going to be okay? Should I be wearing this watch with this shirt? Or should I switch up again and maybe try on another shirt? Try this one, look at the watch, look at the shirt, wonder, is this the right outfit to choose today? Or possibly, maybe it should be this shirt.
No, James, that is not how you do a fashion montage. Leave it strictly to the professionals. It is. It's fashion montage time.
We do. Back from my trip to the art gallery where the ghost of Andy Warhol was there. He was an absolute hoot. Dooby-dooby-doo. Oh, the sun is out again, and so is my smile. I think I'll treat this watch to an ice cream. Dooby-dooby-doo. I'm so gorgeously casual in this look. I think I can go anywhere. But I think I'm going to head to the sofa, Netflix and chill. Dooby-dooby-dow! Marie Antoinette, eat your heart out. I am gorgeous, I am fabulous, and I am a cake.
Hello, you're watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I'm talking about watches. And of course, I've ended up wearing this shirt again. I wear these polo shirts a lot in these videos because they feel neat, tidy, and it's a nice little spot to put this microphone. Now, I do want to say a huge thank you to Sophie. Sophie just featured in that introduction, and she is an amazing watch YouTube content creator. If you haven't watched her channel before, well, you are missing out because she's fun, a little bit quirky, and features some amazing watches, and certainly has much better fashion sense than I do. If you haven't checked out her channel before, I'm going to leave a direct link in the description of this video to her YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out. And I often do this sort of weird change between shirts. It's not that often, I'm not being weird about it, but sometimes I've picked the watch, I want to wear that watch, but then I think, well, it doesn't really suit what I'm wearing. But more than that, and probably more often than that, I've picked a watch before sort of really starting to understand what I'm doing that day. And that's when I sort of then have to start to consider about whether I've picked the right watch for the day. I've become more and more sort of comfortable wearing watches, possibly not in the circumstances that perhaps they are designed for, or at least in my head that they are designed for, just like dress watches. They're probably one of the best examples for this idea. I think before, when I had my dress watches, I would sometimes avoid wearing them unless I was doing something or wearing something a little bit dressy. And that's a bit unfortunate because it meant that those dress watches didn't get worn that often. But I found out over the years that realistically I could wear that dress watch almost whenever I want, and when I do then get dressed up, I don't always actually want to wear a dress watch. I sometimes gravitate towards other watches. However, there are some circumstances where I need to pick the right watch for the right occasion. And one of the big things that I have to consider is the climate here in Australia. It's rather warm. It's not always warm, but it's warm on many occasions, especially through summer. And when it is summer and I'm going to be outside, it tends to mean I end up getting a bit stinky. I end up sweating a little bit, and it doesn't work very well with leather straps. I've tried it before. I used to own a watch many years ago that I wore all the time, and I got this distinct odor. And it took me a while to figure out what that odor was, and I realized it was the sweat in my leather strap. Now, that was a cheap watch, so it wasn't a particular worry about moving that one along. But now that I've got nicer watches in my collection, I've got a little bit more money tied up in my watch collection, I really don't want to destroy or damage these nice leather straps. So I tend to wear bracelets or occasionally wear a rubber strap. Not that I'm a big rubber strap fan, but tend to go for bracelets when it's going to be hot and I'm going to be outside. But of course, I'm also going to choose a watch if I'm going to be doing something a little bit sort of rough, ready, maybe dirty, or there's a possibility of damaging the watch. I tend to lean towards watches that I don't mind getting a little bit damaged, which is why G-Shocks are a fantastic option. However, I don't always feel like wearing a G-Shock. I like G-Shocks, I enjoy G-Shocks, but I don't get that thrill from wearing a G-Shock. I don't look down at it and go, wow, I love it. I generally look down at a G-Shock and go, that's a good watch. It is very fit for purpose and I like it. Which is why some time ago, I went on a bit of a journey. I went on a bit of a journey looking for a watch that gave me that little bit of a thrill when I looked down, but that I could also wear in these sort of rough and ready sort of circumstances where I could bash the watch around and not be worried about it. That's why I ended up buying this Oris. I bought this Oris about a year ago, and it has turned out to be a great watch to wear. It's a very well-made watch, a beautiful looking watch. It has a lovely on-wrist feel about it, but it was secondhand, it was cheap, it had already been bashed around a lot, so I wasn't concerned about actually wearing it. I wasn't actually concerned about hitting it or damaging it, or even if for some reason I hit it so badly that it broke, then I wasn't going to be too worried about it. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of a mini review specifically about this Oris because I think it deserves it. But today, in this video, if you'd seen that previous video that I released about finding this watch, I want to let you guys know that I ended up finding and using this watch in the circumstances that I chose to buy it for. This is not a watch that I probably would have bought if not for this particular reason. But it's turned out to be a fantastic watch. Super legible. It's already scratched and rough, and I don't mind if it gets more scratches, but it's been a lovely watch to wear. So picking the right watch for what I'm doing is important, but also being mindful of I can wear almost any watch I want with any sort of circumstances. Being mindful, of course, of not sort of putting a watch in danger has been nice, but also still picking a watch for the clothing that you're wearing in circumstances, especially when you're sort of going out to do something a little bit special, is also very nice. So yes, occasionally my wife may catch me changing my shirt and not changing my watch, and she may look at me a little bit strangely occasionally, but I'm okay with that. I quite like picking my watch first because that's my priority. I'd really like to know what your guys' thoughts are on this. Do you care about what watch you wear for what occasion or for what you're wearing? Or are you thinking I'm a little bit strange for being a little bit too interested in this? Or perhaps I'm just overthinking this. And I know I overthink things, especially when it comes to watches. I love watches, I think about watches. It's actually one of the big reasons I have this channel, because it's a bit of an outlet for me to talk about the things that I'm thinking about. And this is something that I've been thinking about recently. And if you want to see me talk about some other random watch sort of thing, maybe watch these two videos next.